Actually, we'll invite another commodities expert, or not quite commodities, but metals expert, Chintan Mehta, the analyst at Sunidhi, has joined us on the phone line. Chintan, yesterday we broke the story that the MIP may not be continued, minimum import price for steel may not be continued after August. What would you worry about the steel stocks?
Yeah, good morning. See, a couple of news I'm making on this because when we had a word with Mr. Tomar, the Steel Ministry, he was quite in favor that the MIP will be extended. Or when we talk to corporates like say JSW Steel and the analyst meet, they have been saying that the MIP is compliant and they don't foresee any kind of a problem. But yesterday, what Commerce Ministry is saying that they could face a hurdle in WTO when considering MIP. Now, the backdrop arrangement could be what the ministry as well as the steel players are pushing for is a kind of an anti-dumping duty to replace MIP, because we all know that MIP cannot be extended for a longer period of time. So the logical thing will be MIP could be extended for a certain time, and meanwhile during that period the ministry has to come with an alternative things like anti-dumping on the products. Nonetheless, flat steel prices are having a 20% safeguard duty. At the current prices, it's matching what the MIP is. So worry could be on long products, not on flat products per se.
So if the MIP is not extended and if there is say a country-specific anti-dumping duty that's imposed, will you have to rework your financials for any of these steel companies that you track for FY17?
Yeah, definitely. See, as I said, for regarding say flat products are concerned, we have 20% safeguard duty at the current price of $350 from China for flat products. We have 12.5% custom duty and 20% safeguard. So roundabout it comes to around 450 or so, which is currently what Indian producers are selling at around $35 around $500. So it's somewhere matching, even after Chinese price is much lower than what MIP is. So in the flat products, we don't have to work out in that particular manner. We might need to exist on the long products, because long products are selling at quite a premium. That's 310 is what Chinese FOB prices are for long products, and Indian producers are selling, primary producers are selling at around 28, 29. So we need to work out on long products, but flat products won't change. And however,
so who are the long product makers you would worry about?
Yeah, see, long products are basically the induction furnace players, small players like the belt of Raipur, Sarda, Prakash, Godavari, those are the players actually who are mainly focused into long products, a bit of JSPL as well. Okay. But the import traditionally has been HR, and that has been already taken care in terms of safeguard duties are concerned. So it wouldn't affect much per se. If the prices continues, what China has at this point of time, any weakening on that, then we definitely need to rework the number again.
So because of this news flow, you won't change your target prices on any of the stocks that you cover, right?
Not exactly, because already, a couple of days back, we already seen that SAIL, Rashtriya Ispat Nigam, JSW already even have moved a case for anti-dumping on long product as well. So there has to be an alternate measures which we are hopeful. Talk to some industry experts, and they're saying that definitely that will be taken care of.
You know what, we are going to talk to an industry expert, so just stay on for a second, Chintan. We have Manish Sarda of Sarda Energy joining us. Mr. Sarda, what's your sense? If the MIP goes and there is an anti-dumping duty on specific countries, probably Chinese steel, will you be able to sell profitably? How much less will the cost of steel fall? How much will the cost of steel fall by?
Well, I think if the MIP goes away, there will be a big disaster for the steel industry, because China has been dumping steel products all across the world. We have seen it in the...
Assuming an anti-dumping duty will come. If there is an anti-dumping duty, you get protection from China. You don't get protection from Korean steel, Japanese steel, etc. So will you be able to handle? Will your prices still fall?
The anti-dumping duty, if it comes, then it will give some protection to the Indian steel industry. And Korean and Japanese steel basically are high-end steels that come into India, not the normal long products or the rebars, which we have seen in the past. Mm. So we are not afraid we are not afraid of the Korean or the Chinese or the Japanese steel. It's more the Chinese steel that was hurting the Indian steel industry.
Okay.
But if there is an anti-dumping duty on Chinese steel, will it help at all? Because in the past, there was a duty that was imposed in September of 2015, and that did not have too much of an impact because it was not applicable on all products. So even if there is a country-specific anti-dumping duty, say for China, will it help at all?
Yeah, it will, because see, at that point of time, there was not too much, focus on the industry per se. When actually the injuries happened, then everything came to light, right?
Okay.
And primarily Chinese and Ukrainian, the CIS countries, were bringing in a lot of steel into India. That was those were the two major countries which were hurting the industry in India.
What's your sense, though? Is there a chance that Chinese and in fact global prices may fall further? Our analyst was just telling us that, Chintan was just telling us that if the prices remained at current levels, the hurt is not much.
I think there is a bit of gloominess across the world right now. If you've seen the past, the iron ore prices, everything is softened. So I don't see a major setback in the coming 3 or 4 months. But, from what I sense is that the markets should pick up from the next quarter or so.
Okay, so quickly, by saying prices have softened, what do you mean? How much have steel prices fallen, say, in the last 1 to 2 months? And have you guys been cutting prices?
Not exactly cutting prices, but there's overall lack of demand in the market.
Okay.
Overall lack of demand, and we've seen a price fall of roughly around 3% average across the steel DNA.
Over the last few months?
Over the last 2 months, I would say.
Okay.
Okay. What's the current price of, say, HR steel, and at what price does it become suicidal for the industry? What's the Plimsoll line?
Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what will be the criminal line for the HR products. But I think currently the HR coil is moving at around 31,000, 32,000. If you look at China, they are exporting in bulk at around 375 FOB.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're still very competitive, the Chinese. And if the anti-dumping, if suppose the MIP goes away, then I think there will be a bit of a chaos, till the time the anti-dumping duty steps in.
No, so I didn't get that. Without the MIP, what is the difference between the domestic steel and the imported steel prices?
I think that will be quite huge. There would be a difference of roughly 4,000 bucks, 4,000 rupees per ton.
Okay.
Compared to China, what China was doing in India dumping.
Okay, fine. I would assume that the government will be well within its rights to impose a country-specific anti-dumping duty, but I believe they are expecting more data from the industry to be able to support that anti-dumping duty. We will probably hear from the ministry shortly. Thank you very much, Manish and Chintan, for joining us and keeping all that data in front of us.